Hello, it's episode 127 of Oatmeal Breakfast plays a video game. The self-described least watched show on the internet. I don't have any data to back that up, by the way. I do enjoy bragging that Oatmeal Breakfast plays a video game is the least watched show on the internet. I wish I had anything to brag about that was better than saying I make the least watched show on the internet. Sadly, I don't. On today's episode, I solve a ksudoku puzzle in 11 minutes 39 seconds. I wish it was 1 minute 39 seconds. But it's not. And I will have to work with it. What am I going to talk about while I solve the ksudoku puzzle? I am going to start out talking about Faro. The next item in the world's menu tools menu after transcript is Time Profiler. I have no idea what it is. And I have never used Time Profiler. It sounds to me that it keeps track of how much time your code runs. I want to learn more about it. I can't wait to learn more about Time Profiler. It sounds like it might be fun to use. That is, if I ever get around to ever writing any Faro code, instead of saying I want to write Faro code. It's a lot easier to say I want to write Faro code than to acutely put fingers to keyboard and write code. I still want to write a ksudoku game and ksudoku solver in Faro. So hopefully I will get to that this year. If I don't, I don't. It won't be the end of the world. The world is not going to miss any programs that I do not make. I hope that I do get around to writing a lot of code of my own. I have a lot I want to learn about Faro. What else am I going to talk about today? I want to talk about something different than I usually talk about. Let's see, what can I think of to talk about? Have I watched any documentaries lately? As a matter of fact, I have Oatmeal Breakfast, thank you for so kindly asking. I watched a documentary called Fastball. It profiles some of the hardest throwing pitchers to ever throw a baseball. The most interesting part to me was about the history trying to determine the speed of a ball as it steers around. It had never occurred to me that there was a time when pitchers could not see how hard them threw on a radar gun. And then another thought occurred to me. Say if the radar gun said 100 miles an hour. That does not mean that the ball is always traveling 100 miles an hour as it goes from the pitcher's hand to the batter's box. It never crossed my mind that a pitched ball is not always traveling the same speed. I have always wondered how fast I can throw a baseball. I never played organized baseball. I remember that there used to be baseballs with whatever it is in them that could measure the speed of a thrown ball. Baseballs like that must be still around. I like to imagine that I could throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. It's probably more like 60 miles an hour. It's amazing to me that a knuckleball pitcher can get away with throwing maybe 75 miles an hour for a fastball. If I were a pitcher, I would want to be a knuckleball pitcher. That would be fun, facing a hitter and throwing 50 mile an hour knuckleballs and getting hitters out. Or striking them out with a 70 mile an hour fastball. I can dream. If I were a pitcher, I would want to be a closer. I don't think I would want to be a starting pitcher and have to go out there for 7 innings. I would want to come in and throw as hard as I can for 1 inning and hope that I got everyone out. I only played baseball in PE. I never got to pitch, and I had trouble hitting the ball. Even when the pitcher came close to me, and even when the ball was a volleyball. I need to practice my batting swing. It was fun when we got to play baseball, softball or whatever it was called in PE. It's a shame I was never any good. I was probably worse at fielding than I was at hitting. It was not a good sight. It's a good thing there is not video of me playing softball in PE. It's not anything I want people to see. And I never did run very fast. So I could not hit, I could not field, and I could not run. It did not take me long to realize that I was not destined to be a pro baseball player. Even so, some of my favorite movies are baseball movies. I like Bull Durham, Major League, and Major League 2, A League of Their Own. Is that the only baseball moves I can think of? Maybe it is. I can't think of any other baseball movies that I have seen. I did see Cobb the movie about Ty Cobb. I am sure that I read Cobb the book. I think it was the book the Cobb the movie was based on. I probably like the baseball movies more than I like baseball on TV. I have mentioned that I had a baseball game for Atari 260, a baseball game for No Make That 2 baseball games for the Sega Genesis. I really want to play RBI baseball and play as my favorite team for 162 games of a season. I don't want to simulate any of the games for my team. I want to play 162 games. I don't think it would take me that long. I have 2 teams in mind that I would use if I ever do play RBI baseball. I want to play RBI baseball more than I want to watch real baseball games. Watching sports on television does not make me feel any better. I have already spent enough of my time watching sports on TV, or listening to sports on the radio. I want to do other things with my life. But I will not mind playing RBI baseball. I don't know that many of the players' names. I really only know the names of the players on my 2 favorite teams. RBI baseball does look fun. It's been a long time since I have played a baseball video game. I can't believe I did not get a baseball video game for the Sega Genesis, I mean Nintendo GameCube. I got football, basketball, but not baseball. What was I think? I wish I knew. Some of the decisions in my past don't make any sense to me now. So one day I hope I play a baseball video game again. What else am I going to talk about? I have not thought of this in years. But when I was younger I liked to make Play-Doh. I would use flour, water, and salt. I guess I thought I was making Play-Doh. I think it did work for a while. I don't know what I would make with this stuff. I think I liked to roll it out on a plastic mat. I probably would have been better off buying real Play-Doh. I do remember that the flour, salt and water mixture would get hard after a while, so I could not roll it out. I don't remember why I started making it, or how I got the idea to make it. All I remember is making it. It must have been fun to use, because I am positive that I made it a lot. I could have made the flour, salt and water into pizza dough, instead of Play-Doh by adding salt, and omitting the salt. I heard on a cooking show that salt is not good for the yeast, but I am not positive that salt is bad for yeast. Thinking about pizza makes me hungry. Now I mentioned that I used to make homemade pizzle when I was younger. That was fun. And it also tasted good. Well, except for the time I put garlic into the sugar, yeast, warm water mixture. Then it tasted horrible. I was lucky to choke it down. Garlic is good on top of the pizza, not incorporated into the pizza crust mixture. I learned that the hard way. Flour, sugar, warm water, garlic and yeast don't mix. Or at least garlic and yeast don't mix. I learned that the hard way. Did I say that already? I probably did. Needless to say, I never added garlic to my pizza dough mixture again. You were. That tasted so gross. I am surprised I was able to eat pizza after that disaster. I have written enough. Geudite.